Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. That's right.
I love that. That opening is wonderful.
Yeah, got to get us pumped up, man. Yeah, that's how we do it here. What is going on? It's your boy Preston, Fat Samurai Guy, hanging out with another episode of the Movie Dojo podcast, and hanging out with your boy in the Movie Dojo. They have returned. Well, actually, he has returned. The human tank. That's right. Bryan Brooks is here. That's right. Actor, filmmaker, director from the film Wrecker. Welcome back to the show, brother.
Thank you very much. Thank you for having me. We had a great time last time, so I brought a friend this time, a wealth of knowledge, an encyclopedia of action films.
Oh, I'm so happy. I'm so happy he's here. That's right. First time in the dojo, Brandon Hamilton. How you doing, brother? Welcome.
Good, good. How you doing?
Doing great, man.
Happy to be here. Very excited.
Yeah, man. Great to have you here. I mean, Brandon's done it all: actor, cinematographer, director, all that good stuff. And last time me and Bryan hung out in the dojo, we were talking about a certain movie called Wrecker, baby. Oh yeah, a film I came across. I saw the buffness and a guy holding a huge hammer. I was like, I gotta watch this, and I had an absolute blast. You guys can watch Wrecker for free right now. I have a link in the description box below. Check it out for free on YouTube. It's on Amazon Prime. Tubi is still on Tubi, right? Is that still on Tubi? It is. Yep. There you go. So make sure you guys check it out. It is a labor of love. And let's, just for fun, speaking of the topic of today's podcast is underrated action movies. Well, I'm going to throw Wrecker in there right now. Let's do
that.
Yeah. Wrecker is underrated in my opinion, and more people need to watch it. If you appreciate action, martial arts, horror, comedy, and, homaging the 80s and 90s, that whole vibe. If you're into that and you support independent cinema, definitely check out Wrecker. Here's a little taste for you. Let's check it out.
In a city plagued with crime, a determined cop and a man pushed to the edge uncover a sinister plot and must join forces to battle an unspeakable evil.
You want me to investigate zombies, for God's sake?
We got a show for you!
Lights out, motherfucker.
Yeah. Oh, shit. He's got the hammer.
Yeah, actually, I love seeing that promo.
He's got the hammer. Yeah. I love it, man. We got the movie props have returned. The awesome movie props. But yeah, it's literally got everything. I mean, pro wrestling, strippers, doing martial arts. I mean, assassins. It's got everything. Gore. It's a lot of fun. Make sure you guys check out Wrecker. Highly recommend it from Samurai Guy. But Brandon, you were also involved in Wrecker and in this project, and you played what? Chopper. Look at this handsome devil. Look at this handsome guy right here.
Yeah, that was a day.
Look at that. We got the same kind of hairdo going on there. Look at that. Yeah.
Now it's all bald on top anymore.
But yeah, tell us a little bit about your character. Since I got you here, did you give your insight on this? You're like, this is the kind of character I want to do. How did Chopper come about?
Oh gosh. So originally there was a different actor cast in this role, and they weren't able to shoot. We were shooting the next day. So they weren't able to take that, do that part. And it was written differently. So, me and Bryan talked about like, what are we going to do? The whole day is kind of circling around like the scene. I haven't been in the movie yet, so I was going to be in there at some point. So then we decided that, okay, maybe this will be my role. But then I put on my actor hat and, it's like, well, I want to rewrite some dialogue. And so then we like the whole night we just completely like workshopped and rewrote the scene to kind of cater to my strengths. It's like, oh, I can't obviously match you physically in terms of like, I'm not that intimidating. So I need to make for it and crazy.
There you go.
So, and I wrote a big monologue, and I do a mohawk, and shave my eyebrows and do the scars, and
So in the script, that character had 3 sentences, and one of the sentences was only a couple words long. It was a very short part, and then Brandon took over. He's like, with that mindset, like, wait a sec, I'm going to try to match the intimidation, but I'm going to match it with crazy. And then he brings in this thing. You can say, I've got this all memorized. So I was like, but this is going to be a 10-minute scene now. But I like it. And as we went through it, I'm chained up and he's going through it for the first time. Do you remember what you did when you got close to my face and you didn't tell me? Remember what you took a bite of?
I took the meat?
No, you took a bite of an onion.
Oh.
So he took a big fat bite of an onion right before the first take, and he gets this close to my face, and I'm
oh yeah, I remember that. I completely forgot about that.
Yeah, there you go.
Onion, I'm gonna give it to him.
A little filmmaking trick
all
there.
About that. Thanks, James Dean.
That's hilarious.
I didn't forget about it at all.
That's funny. The last
it
time
ended up being a lot of people's favorite part. Sorry, it ended up being a lot of people's favorite part of the film, and it was a last second addition. And I'm like, okay, why not take the guy who taught me how to screenwrite, taught me how to make films, my instructor, bring him in and just give him you've got fair reign here on this scene. And he turned it into this beautiful scene. It was his idea to film it in blue as well. And I think it came out really well.
Nice. Copy that. Well, Brandon, you look pretty big here. I mean,
I think I weighed a little bit more. Wasn't muscle, I'll tell you that.
Yeah. It was Fussell, this old samurai guy over here. Let me push up the Fussell there. But I forgot to mention, Brian, when we were talking about Wrecker last time you were here, that I was definitely, between your 2 characters, I was definitely getting a Vernon Wells vibe and John Matrix vibe from Commando. That back and forth.
Yeah.
I was definitely there you go, crazy. Vernon Wells.
God, I hadn't thought about that. The thing that's weird about that, when I was a kid, I thought Vernon Wells was a big, huge buff guy until I got older and I looked at him, and there's quite a body change between the Road Warrior and Commando, which I think are 3 years apart. Yeah. But he's not necessarily a big guy, is he? He's just crazy. He's just absolutely crazy. Yeah. And like as I got older, I was like, you're not that big. But you're still very intimidating. Yeah. Vernon Wells.
Yeah. Copy that. Yeah. That's the vibes I was getting. Yeah. We got the Movie Dojo Army in the house. What's going on? He's saying hello. Fat Samurai Guy, good to see you. You got people watching. The legends are already putting up their lists right now. We got Anubis. Oh, Sexy Sumo's here. What's going on, brother? We got the lists already. Last Boy Scout, Boondock Saints. We're gonna get into a great list here. Anubis.
RRR.
Yeah. Anubis knows his movies. We're gonna get into some of those picks tonight. And Jay Off's in the house. What's going on? Good to see you. Excessive.
Hey, Jeff.
There you go. Excessive Force. That's another one.
Mayo.
But yeah, thanks again, everybody, for watching. We're going to get to the list. We all have decided here. This was kind of not planned, but we all have decided, if everyone's free and available, this will be a part 1 podcast episode. We're going to do part 2, 3, 4, part 85 if we have the free time.
There's too much to talk about. It's too hard to have a list of 10.
Right. We're going to do more underrated action movie podcast episodes in the future. So before we get to the list, really quickly, Brandon, tell us a little bit about your upcoming film that you're directing. I mean, again, actor, cinematographer, filmmaker, but now you're directing. You're doing more directing now for The Block. What's all this coming out?
So The Block, that's it's more of a it's got some action in it, but it's primarily a dark comedy. About a corrupt probation officer played by Brian here, who's getting into all sorts of shenanigans.
Yeah. Well, it's a perfect shot for a dark comedy shot right here. This is perfect.
Yeah. That pretty much sums up the vibe of the movie there. We made that in about 25 days, budget of $5,000. It's quick and dirty.
Nice.
Hopefully it's a lot of fun. I really want to make something that's just like endlessly quotable, very funny, very mean-spirited. All my favorite things.
Yeah, it's fun. It's
work
fun.
with all my friends. Yeah.
Several of the same actors that were in Wrecker as well.
All right. Nice. We get returning cast. That's what's
the gang's all there, and they're all completely different characters. So
okay.
Hopefully hopefully get to see a lot more of our range.
Nice. And,
Definitely a different shade of Bryan than what you're going to see in Wrecker.
all right.
Real fun role to play.
Nice. Well, I can't wait to see you guys collab again when this comes out. Are we looking at towards the end of this year, beginning of next year?
Oh gosh, I hope so. Yeah.
Okay.
Hope so.
Okay, cool. Well, here's a screenshot that these lovely lads have sent to me to show. And I'm sure this will get you just as excited for this upcoming movie, The Block. What? Look at that. Come on, baby. Look at that. Blood all over, got the shades, got the cigarette. I mean, come on. I mean, look at this shot. I mean, yeah, that's what's up.
That sums it up. That's that's my taste. I think anyone who works on a film that I'm doing, they're most likely going to get covered in blood at some point.
Where's my dumb?
Yeah, it's almost like we were competing. Who could, like your movie, I was half covered in blood. I'll just cover myself completely in blood in Wrecker. We'll see who wins.
Oh, well, at the end of The Block, no, we got you. You were covered in blood. And you got the coke on your face, and then you drove home.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah.
Right.
You were at a gas station. The police looked at you and said, "Nope."
Where's my dumbbells at? I'm gonna have to do some curls.
Oh God, that's a story. That's right. So coming home from Brandon's shoot, I was covered full face in my tank top, full blood, at 3 a.m, coming back from not a nice area down maybe half an hour outside San Francisco, and I'm pumping gas because I got to drive 3 hours to get home. And the police rolled up and looked at me, and having no idea I'm fresh off a movie set. And they looked at me and said, and just kept on going.
Wow.
Wow.
That's hilarious. Here we go. I like this comment here. Bryan Brooks can totally play Duke Nukem. Yeah. Yeah, he's got my vote. He's got my vote for Duke Nukem for sure, man. That'd be great. All right. Now it is time, baby. We're going to get to the list here. Minor spoiler alert. We're going to get to it. And for those of you that have followed this channel for a long time, I do have a series called Is It Underrated? Is it really that bad? Is it really that good? Where we kind of just pick one movie, do a little more of a deep dive on that one movie. But I kind of like this, this having variety of just throwing a whole bunch of movies together on a list and having awesome people like you watch and awesome people join me in talking about our love for action cinema. So up first, now these guys picked this list. That's right. And I have 2 bonuses picks from Samurai Guy at the end. But this is from Bryan and Brandon. They put this list together for part 1 of this series. Up first, dude, this is a lot of fun, bro. King Solomon.
Oh, yeah.
This is a blast, bro. I remember watching this for the first time many years ago, and I remember having so much fun with it. It was hilarious. The stunt work, it was great. And it's kind of funny because I remember so many people were talking shit on King Solomon's Mine, saying, "Oh, it's Indiana Jones ripoff, Indiana Jones ripoff." And I was even when I was young, I was kind of like, because I'm a big, huge Indiana Jones fan. All 3 films.
Yeah, all 3, not
3 films.
The Holy Trilogy.
And even when I was young, I was confused why there was so much hate on King Solomon's Mines. I was like, yeah, John Rhys Davies is in it. Yeah, it's an adventure action movie. Yeah, he's got the hat. Yeah, blah blah blah. But I was kind of like, why the hate? Even when I was young, because I remember my parents used to watch King Solomon Mine movies all the time. There was a color version, and then there was an old black and white version that I believe came out in 1937.
Yeah,
predating obviously Raiders of the Lost Ark.
Oh yeah, I was inspired by the novel All Right or Haggard. Yeah.
There you go. But when you first saw King Solomon's Mines, Brandon, what did you think of it?
Oh boy, it was I'm still hurting from laughing so hard. At the time I worked at a video store, and under the office was a bunch of like VHS tapes that they took out of circulation, and I was like, I gotta know what's in here. A lot of Golden Globus. I'll tell you that. And that one, I was like, oh, I gotta check this one out. And me and my friend watched it, and we just like laughed from like start to finish. It's just so painfully funny. Just the comedic timing in that is really good. And it's you think it would be like, oh, it's an old 80s Golden Globus film, maybe it's kind of slow and boring. It's like, it's not. It hauls ass.
Yeah.
There's like always something going on.
Oh, yeah.
How many of our list of 10 are Golden Globus? I'm looking at the list. It's 2 that I see. Is it 3?
I think 2.
They made some of the most entertaining, stupid, like by today's standards, but entertaining movies like King Solomon's Mines.
There's the key.
That was going to
Key word.
star the star of Ninja 3, The Domination, but then she bagged out. And then who comes in but Sharon Stone, on a mistake, by the way,
Really?
because Golan or Globus said, I want the stone lady. I want the stone lady. I saw a documentary on this.
Yeah.
And he was talking about Kathleen Turner from Romancing the Stone, but the person doing the casting said the stone lady, and looked on the list of possible actresses and sees Sharon Stone and hires her on the spot. Then he comes to meet Kathleen Turner and says, well, who is this? I want to meet the stone lady. It's Sharon Stone. And that's how Sharon Stone got her start. Isn't that crazy?
That's
and it was what, 3 years later? Is that what, Basic Instinct was 90 or was it this 85?
This was 91, 92.
91. So just half a decade later, she's an A-list talent, you know, and then again, Schwarzenegger shoots her in the head. But yeah, and I think Richard Chamberlain was coming to the end of his career.
Yeah.
But it's a funny, entertaining movie that has parts in it that I'm actually copying for other movies because they're so good. You know, like when they throw the dynamite and the wick's really long and the guy's searching for it. And he's so excited because he gets it. He goes, I got it, right when he blows up. And it just makes you laugh. It's just, it's good, lighthearted. It's a comedic, cheap version of Raiders of the Lost Ark, obviously, as he crawls underneath the train and then catches a rope on the end, just like Indiana Jones crawled under the truck with his whip. Blatant copy, but I don't care because it was so much fun to watch.
Right. And believe it or not, that was actually from a serial that they copied that stunt for Raiders of the Lost Ark.
Oh, yeah?
So Raiders of the Lost Ark copied first.
I think everything's a copy.
Exactly. And it's fine.
Yeah.
As long as you're having fun, it's entertaining. Everyone's inspired by a lot of things.
Yeah, every story has been told. It's just how you tell it.
Right. Right. But yeah, I don't get the hate. I was just like, dude, this is a fun action adventure movie. That's fucking hysterical. It is hysterical, man. And Chamberlain, I think you know, like you nailed it. Like he was coming towards the end of his career, but
that turns into a musical number, as I recall.
Right, I think it's been a long time since I've seen it. But yeah, I thought he was great. He's charming and funny. He had the comedic timing as well.
Mm-hmm.
You know, being
I think he was one of the few people in the movie that knew it was a comedy.
There you go. There you go. I mean, he was great in the Lester's Three Musketeers movies. You know, in terms of comedic timing.
And remember, they made a part 2. It was a failure, but they made a part 2 that had everybody's favorite mistress, the Elvira. Cassandra Peterson played a part in that. Wasn't as good as the first one, but you know what sequels are. So yeah, it's very, very short list. You know, Terminator, you know, Alien, but usually sequels get less and less as they go. But yeah, and that one did. But fun movies nonetheless. That's why it makes the list.
Yeah, there was almost a third one as well.
Oh, really? What happened?
It was going to be directed by Golan, and they were about to start, and then he had passed away.
Oh,
yeah, but Richard Chamberlain
passed away.
Golan.
Okay.
Wow. Yeah, I would have watched it for sure.
Yeah.
There's a few fun moments in the second one that you can enjoy, but the first one is the best one. But yeah, if you guys have never seen King Solomon's Mines, it's a lot of fun. It's goofy, but legit stunt work though. All the action on top, fighting on top of the train, all that stuff is legit. You know, wagon chases, all that carriage chases. I mean, all that good stuff. So yeah, King Solomon's Mines definitely is number 1 so far. Number 2, I was just like, these are my brothers. These are my brothers. Brandon, we're brothers now because you guys, Brian, we've been brothers since the last podcast.
We already made it. Yeah.
What? Blind Fury.
Yeah.
Yo, let's fucking go, man. The great Rutger Hauer. Oh yeah. I never thought that, because I'm a big, huge Zatoichi fan. I have all the movies on Blu-ray, and I even have I should have grabbed it. I should have grabbed my prop, but I have an actual Zatoichi cane sword replica over here. And I never thought I wanted an action comedy comedic version of Rutger Hauer playing a similar character. The blind swordsman character. I never thought I needed it until I saw Blind Fury.
It surprises you because it doesn't look good. It doesn't sound good. Like, you know, hot off of Blade Runner, like, what is a blind swordsman? It didn't sound good, but it's a really good movie. It's a little cheesy and all that. It's funny, all that, but it's supposed to be. And the action is awesome. And it's got Randall Tex Cobb who gets sliced in half in the end. Like it's great. It's a great watch. It's fun to watch.
Yeah, very well made. It's directed by Philip Noyce, who did I think 2 of the Jack Ryan, the Harrison Ford Jack Ryan movies.
Okay.
It was a pretty solid director there. And then one of the things I really love about this movie is Rutger Hauer's performance. It's usually he's playing like some sort of crazy or villain or very, very serious character.
Yeah.
Like this is the only one that I can really recall where he's like a light, likable, lovable guy, and like he does it really well. It's a testament to his abilities as an actor. I mean, he mostly did B action films and science fiction things for his career, but it's definitely one of his best performances because he can be charming and likable. Just didn't have a lot of those roles because look at him, he's Rutger Hauer.
Yeah, exactly.
But again, like you nailed it. Like well said in terms of Rutger did nail the comedic timing as well in certain scenes. But just like really, I wasn't expecting it to be that funny, like that goofy at points. Like you have the 2 minion thugs, and they're like one says shit, the other one says fuck. And you're like shit fuck. I was dying.
That was Nitro from American Gladiator, wasn't it?
One of them was Nick Cassavetes, who's also a big-time director and actor. He was in Face Off and directed Book, I think.
Right. But yeah, back to the movie. Great action, great stunts, some legit fights, and Rutger nailing it. But I screamed like a little girl. I screamed like a little girl when I was already loving the movie. The first time I seen it, I was already enjoying it. And out of nowhere, they bring in Sho Kosugi.
Oh,
at the end.
At the end, yeah.
Fight. We're like, we can't stop this dude. We gotta bring in the big guns. And Sho Kosugi literally just walks in, and I screamed like a little girl. I was like, ah! I lost it. Actually, you know what? Sorry, Sumo. Sexy Sumo. I gotta play it. Hold on.
And he feels his face is Japanese, huh?
This was my reaction when Sho Kosugi walked on screen. Yeah, I was like, what? Yeah, here we go. There you go. Sho Kosugi was an added bonus. Yes.
Yeah.
And then they had a legit duel, man. Like a legit duel. I was like, this is happening. Fight
between the two, yeah.
I was like, this is actually happening.
Mm-hmm.
I couldn't believe it. But yeah, I loved Blind Fury. Definitely underrated. I'm glad it's on Blu-ray now. There's several different releases of Blu-ray. I'm glad it's out now. More people
that was a pleasant memory, that movie. And now Rutger Hauer did things that I think if a little off. Like in the end, he disappears behind a buff. What was it, Joey Lawrence as a kid? Lo, don't leave Rutger Hauer. And then he disappears behind a bus, and then Joey Lawrence throws
Brandon Call
catches it. Yeah, it's a little out there, but it's a really fun watch, and that's why I wanted it on the list. And Brandon, it was your idea, Brandon, and I was like, oh yes, definitely Blind Fury.
Yeah. We definitely agreed on immediately.
Yeah. We could have used a couple of more movies with that for sure.
Yeah.
But yeah, we're on fire here, and you notice the variety because that's what it's all about here. We have action adventure at first, and now we got Sho Kosugi flipping off trampolines, making me scream like a little girl, and now we're keeping it Kosugi. We're keeping it Kosugi, baby, because up next on the list for underrated action movies, Ninja 3: The Domination, baby. He's the ultimate killer. She's the perfect weapon. Oh man, the opening to this movie is one of the greatest.
That's what gets it on the list. 20 minutes,
just the opening
carnage.
Yeah.
Go ahead, Brandon. Talk about it.
A ninja takes down 25 cops, a helicopter, 3 civilians. Like it's just insane.
Up a golf course. Mm-hmm. And there's no reason for it. Like you think, like, oh, there's a guy with security, maybe he's supposed to assassinate somebody. It's like, no. There's just a ninja on the golf course, and shit gets out of hand immediately and forever. You think he's dead, and he's not. Like, oh no! It's just such a good cold open.
Slaughtering everyone on the golf course, and then just taking out the cops, and it just gets more crazier, more intense, and It is absolute insanity, the beginning of this movie. I mean,
Yeah.
it's so crazy, man. I love how that couple was in the little golf cart and they're trying to get away. Just get out and run. Just get out and run. You get away faster, but they're just like, ah. And then he grabs it and lifts it up, and then he ends up going for the slaughter there. But oh my god! At the
So
beginning
they got better and crazier as they went. Enter the Ninja came out in 81, and then 83 was Revenge of the Ninja, which I thought was great. But the thing that gets this on the list is they went absolute bonkers crazy. At the time, Poltergeist had just come out and was super famous.
Right.
And another movie was Flashdance. So they combined genres. It's a hybrid of genres, and let's add ninjas to it as well. And from what I heard from, looking back upon this movie, watching the documentary, Sho Kosugi was none too happy that his lead role that he had earned in Revenge of the Ninja. So they're going to bring him back. And he was none too happy that he really wasn't in the third one that much, and refused to film the ending unless he could kill the bad guy. The original ending was Lucinda, what's her last name? Lucinda
Dickey.
Lucinda Dickey killed the ninja, and he's like, yeah, no, I'm not gonna finish this. So they changed it so he could stab the bad guy in the head, and like, okay, we'll refilm that scene now and get it done. It's absolutely ludicrous, but it's beautiful. The images where they have that she's got a video game, and the video game transfers onto her face. I did the same thing in Wrecker when you project something on your body. It just makes things look cool. And it was a very visually stunning film, but it was just so out there. Can you imagine writing that down and saying, okay, here's what we're going to do. Ninja's going to take over a girl's body and commit assassinations. And so there's going to be a flying sword, and like, wow, that's like, what? And it works.
What does she do? Oh, she works for the phone company and teaches an aerobics class.
Yeah.
Yes, for sure. But yeah, it's just, old evil ninja entity gets taken out, possesses the girl. She goes on a rampage, and just like Blind Fury, in the reverse though, where we got to bring in Sho Kosugi. Definitely some fun stuff. But that beginning is pure.
It's gold. Yeah.
Gold.
It snags your attention right from the very start. And about in the middle of the film or so, you guys remember maybe the oddest sensual or sex scene is when she straddles the other cop, the love interest, and dumps a can of V8 juice down her neck. like what? I had to look it up. So Golan Globus said that a lot of times companies will try to get their products in, and V8 Juice had sent just a ton of their product. Oh, here, while you're filming, here's a bunch of cases of V8 Juice. And the girls, Lucinda said, well, I'm supposed to be into my health and everything. Instead of dumping the water or the beer or whatever it was supposed to be, she goes, let's do a take with the V8 Juice. And everybody was laughing so hard. He goes, you know what? Let's keep it in.
Wow.
And it's one of the most memorable parts of the film. Yeah. Here, let me grab this Clamato.
Wow. That's hilarious. Yeah, I was wondering if that was product placement, but yeah, it was so bizarre.
Blatant product placement. Yeah.
Oh my goodness. But yeah, Ninja 3 is bonkers, but it's so much fun. And one of the best action directors going today right now. Shout out to Jude Poyer from the UK. He did the action fight choreography for Mayhem. If you guys ever seen Mayhem, it came out. It was known as Farang last year, but it was released over here as Mayhem on Amazon Prime. If you haven't seen it, you two will love it. You'll love it.
It's
like I haven't seen. Have you seen that, Brendan?
Brutal.
It looks great.
Yeah, it's brutal fights. You guys will love that kind of stuff. But even Jude, we were talking when I had him on the podcast, and we were just talking about Ninja 3: The Domination and how much we both really enjoyed it. And he's a huge fan. So there you go. The action director of Mayhem loves some Ninja 3: The Domination.
We're all in the same club then, yeah.
Now, this next one I actually is an underrated episode for, but I want to hear what these two gents have to say about it. The Corruptor. That's right. Chow Yun-Fat, Mark Wahlberg. Thoughts on this movie, guys? Why did you pick The Corruptor?
This is my pick, I guess. Yeah, Brian.
Okay. We exchanged movies for this. I put in Undisputed 3. He put in Corruptor. I watched it last night. Amazing car chase scene. I'll give it that.
Yeah, for sure. Go ahead, Brandon.
I'm a big Chow Yun-Fat fan, and I feel like this is probably the best use of him in an American film. Like he always feels a little like misused, or it's
It
like
is.
they don't quite grasp it. Like, he's an actor, he's really good at acting, and this is I love the dirty cop genre. You think about like Training Day, Narc, Dark Blue. This is, I feel like this is up there with them. Incredible car chase, one of the best car chases. Put the film out why it's held in the same esteem as you hear about like French Connection or Bullet, and because there's a lot of collateral damage in that. A nice messy car chase. You got Mark Wahlberg in there. We gotta clean up Chinatown.
But no, well said, Brandon. That Chai and Fat. I mean, at the time when I was younger, I loved Replacement Killers. That was, did I think Replacement Killers was better than Hard Boiled? No. But I still loved Replacement Killers because that was his debut, and we did a separate. If you guys want to know my thoughts, deep dive thoughts on Replacement Killers, check out that episode on the channel. But when I got to The Corruptor, my expectations were so high after Replacement Killers in terms of an American movie debut that I was kind of disappointed the first time I saw The Corruptor. It wasn't what I thought it was going to be. I thought it was going to be another John Woo type movie. And then it took a couple of rewatches, and I ended up liking it a little bit more, but not loving it. And then I distanced myself from it for, it seemed like 5 billion years. And then a buddy of mine, filmmaker stuntman Kyle Wong, shout out to him. He's like, we got to do The Corruptor. Is it underrated? I was like, really? All right. You know what? Fuck it. This would be a great revisit. Let's do it. I sat down. I busted out my old crusty DVD copy that I had.
Oh, the cardboard one, right?
Yeah. And I was blown away with the sound design with this movie, even from DVD. The bullets, the everything, the explosions, the gunfire, the sound design in Corruptor so good. And I sat there watching it. I'm like, all right, I haven't seen this in forever. And I watched it. And I was like, this is fucking good shit. And you finally get to see Chai and Fat act in an American movie. And a lot of stuff the director let Chai and Fat ad-lib. His scene where he was in rage in the bathroom, looking at himself in the mirror, and then he has to like calm himself down and with the breathing exercises. The director let him do that. And Chai and Fat is so charismatic that all he has to do is turn around and do this. And not say anything. And he doesn't have to say anything. And he just captures, the screen. He steals.
Mark Wahlberg has a very out there personality, but he was younger, and Chow Yun-Fat stole the show. But obviously, maybe wouldn't do it now if they got together. But but his personality, it really was the top notch thing in the film. The action was great. But yeah, it was just fun watching him. He made you laugh. He'd turn around and he would point at you, or he was doing different things. I was like, God, I really enjoy him in this movie now, without all the kicking and the action. Right. He's just his acting.
Yeah. I mean, it's so good, and I really enjoyed it a lot more. And then right after I got done watching it, Brandon, I watched it again with the commentary from the director. And you know what's insane? This movie was actually more violent. Yeah, there was more collateral damage during that car chase scene.
Yeah, there's a director's cut on the DVD. Yeah.
Well, no, there is no director's cut.
Oh no, of just the car chase.
Oh, okay.
On the DVD, there's the uncut car chase where it's like people are getting killed left and right.
Right. I guess the director, he mentioned other parts of the movie, and there was actually more action. And we were like, damn it, release the extended cut of The Corruptor. But yeah, in terms of like just the hard-boiled, gritty crime action thriller, I respect this movie now, especially having action director, filmmaker Robert Samuels. I had him on the podcast, and he actually shared some behind the scenes of his old videos of him being on set. It was really cool seeing explosions on set and all that stuff. So yeah, a lot of respect for The Corruptor now, for sure. All right, next up, I am the leader.
Yeah.
That's right. We got Dread 3D, baby. And I will be the first one. To say, when the trailer came out, I was shitting all over this movie. I was like, this looks like shit. Because it wasn't really a good trailer anyway. The trailer I was like, kind of like the uniforms look cheap, the helmet, like it just, I was like, this looks bad. This looks really, I liked Carl
I wouldn't
Urban.
see it. Go ahead.
I liked Carl Urban, but I was just like, this looks. I said this looks embarrassing when I saw the trailer to Dredd. Then I started hearing from my friends, bro, apparently Dredd's legit. I was like, what? No, I was like, get out of here, dude. Really? He's like, no, that's what I'm hearing. I'm like, what? And we went to Universal Theater, Universal City Walk. They had a movie theater there, and they were playing it there in 3D. And I'm not even really the biggest 3D movie guy. And I was like, okay, sure. We were there to go to Universal Studios. We had time to kill. I was like, fine, let's all go. Me and my wife, my buddy, we all went, sat down, and we had so much fucking fun with Dredd. The music, the cinematography, the gore, the violence, the action, the impending doom, the great side character, his partner, great female action character. She showed her character arc throughout the movie, and she became a badass at the end. It ended up saving the day in a way. I absolutely love Dredd, but that's enough of me talking about it. Brandon, go for it. Go with Brian.
Let me give you a little backstory on me watching it. It's exactly what you said. After Stallone's Dredd, which wasn't bad, but on a scale of 1 to 5, I'd give it a 2. You know, like because he didn't hold
I enjoy it. I admit it.
Helmet off.
There's things to like about it.
It's nice to look at. You know, it's visually, it pops.
Yeah, and that big Terminator character they had is taken down by the comedy sidekick. I'm like, come on. Armando Sante was a good bad guy, but Stallone. So when Dredd 3D came out, just the fact it was called Dredd 3D, I'm like, come on.
Right.
I wouldn't go see it because I didn't want to, just like you. The first thing we ever filmed for Wrecker was just up the street at a bar from this house I'm at right now. We're right downstairs after a 12, 14-hour shoot or something. Several of the actors and cast members were going to sleep in my living room. And Brandon says, hey, have you guys seen Dredd? Let's rent it on. I was like, oh, come on.
I bought it for you. I bought you the DVD.
Oh, did you brought? Yeah. So you brought it. I'm like, oh, come on, whatever.
Yeah.
So we start watching it, and I had bought some food for everybody from like Costco or wherever it was, something cheap. It had some olives in it, and I think it was the olives. Maybe it was whatever it was. I had started having a skin irritation, and I've had it before, and it can get pretty bad, and I have to go to the ER or get an EpiPen shoved in my leg. And so I escaped from the group, but the movie was so good. We're like maybe halfway into it. I'm like, God, I don't want to miss this, but I'm having my skin thing. Once every 3-4 years, I got to go to the hospital when it happens, and it's happening now. I'm like, oh no. There's another way I can deal with it, which is when it's cold outside, you take off all your clothes and just stand there and hope that the cold will stop the reaction. So I ended up sneaking downstairs while everybody else was watching the movie and getting ice packs. I had an ice pack on my shoulder because the hives were coming up, an ice pack on my bum, an ice pack on my back. And I was hiding, watching the movie around the corner, buck ass naked with 5 ice packs in different places, trying to control the reaction. Brandon goes to the kitchen to grab a beer, looks at me, and I go, oh, hi. And he goes, what are you doing? Why are you naked? And I was like, I'm having a reaction. Just keep on walking. So I watched the rest of Dredd, calming down a very serious skin irritation, and I loved it. It's not top 10 for me. That's like top 3 favorite movies in my life. It's a very good movie with a very good bad guy or bad girl in Lena Headey from Game of Thrones. Yeah. Wonderfully written film, stunning visuals. I love how they took the drug, the slow-mo, like that's how they had their slow-mo camera. They found a clever way to put the slow-mo into it. The character arcs, it's beautiful. And as Brandon was explaining to me, it's kind of a war between that and The Raid. Remember The Raid that came out that was at a Korean movie? It's kind of the same thing. Yeah. It's the same movie. The cops go into the building, they get trapped inside the building, and then they got to go up floor by floor. Each floor has a different bad guy, like a video game with a different weapon or a different adversary of some sort. Like, it's the same movie, isn't it? Both of those were great movies, but for me, Dredd makes the list because I absolutely love it. I could watch it. If it's on Showtime, I'm going to sit down and watch it, even though I've seen it 20 times.
Yeah, that was the movie we watched the most on the set of Wrecker, I think. Pretty much every time we wrapped, it's like, okay, let's pop in Dredd.
Let's just pop it in.
Could couldn't go like a week without seeing Dread. It's
Yeah.
One of our series that we have here, and I'm going to invite you and Brandon in the future. I got to invite you guys in some future episodes, but our popular show on our channel here, Versus, we put two films against each other and we vote at the end which one we think is better. We actually did do Dread versus The Raid.
Oh, you did that, yeah.
Yeah, we did that. So if you guys want to find out who won, you got to watch. No, I'm going to let them watch it. I'll let you guys know when we get offline.
Okay.
But yeah, it was nobody copied anyone. No one copied anyone. It was just one of those coincidences.
They were made at like the same time. It would have
no one. Yeah, it was just one of those things. Nobody copied anyone. But in obviously, in terms of the martial arts and the way the fights were filmed, obviously the Raid is, better than Dread. Dread is all about gunplay. That's why you're
Raid had the better action, but I feel like Dread was the better movie.
Yeah. See, we need to check on Versus. We needed you on that Versus episode back then, Brandon. But yeah, I mean, just fun, brutal, not giving a fuck, people getting fucked up. Our hero actually getting injured.
Yeah, that's another one. Yeah,
I love his one-liner at the end of the big epic death.
Yeah.
But,
you think they pan in on his face. You think he's going to say some Schwarzenegger one-liner, and he just goes, "Yeah,
that's it." But whatchamacallit? It definitely deserved a trilogy, and people are like, still to this day, would love to see a series, but it looks like it's not going to happen
it's been
at all.
12 years, right?
Carl Urban's still like campaigning for it.
Yeah, I mean, even a Netflix series was like the talk, like maybe this was going to happen, but it didn't happen, and it sucks.
Know why? What it's got such a cult following. Why wouldn't they go through with it? Even
because it bombed. And unfortunately, it did not do well because, unfortunately, the 3D part of it was awesome, but unfortunately, the money to add the 3D, it didn't have a bigger, wide release because it was mostly in 3D theaters, and that kind of ended up hurting the movie. And
a lot of people do prefer 2D, and then
it's still great 2D.
I saw it opening day to an empty theater.
Yeah, it's unfortunate, but I mean, who knows? Fingers crossed, because Carl Urban, he's the Boys is a really popular show.
Yeah,
who knows? Fingers crossed. But this is why we got this channel, baby.
Yeah,
that's right. So we can help spread the word. Yeah. If you haven't seen Dread, definitely check it out. But one of my favorite movies, one of my favorite scenes in action movie history is from Dread, and it's one of the most badass scenes ever. And it's when she pulls out the Gatling gun and they start firing like crazy. And then he's running away. He's hiding. And then after that, they run out of bullets. They're like, well, he's got to be dead by now. And then the camera slowly, you hear like scuffling. And then the camera slowly zooms in on the other side of it. And you see out of the shadows, Dread coming out of nowhere, throwing one of the bad guys over the balcony, looking at Lena Headey and the bad guys, and then just walking back like a pimp into the shadows. That was one of the most greatest scenes in action movie history.
Now, if you remember my film, do you know, once I saw Dread, once we started filming, I didn't have a scene like that, and I added a scene like, do you remember the scene when the detective finds the Gatling gun?
Oh yeah. Okay,
so that was from that movie. I'm like, nice. I'm gonna add that to my film.
Yeah. And we did a shot where it was just your mouth,
oh, that's right, we did a shot. It was just my mouth. It's a copy.
In the 90s, if Hollywood tried to remake Hard Boiled, they would sooner cast Vanilla Ice. Oh, what's up, Lee? We got Film Combat Syndicate, one of the best action bloggers watching right now. Good to have you hanging out with us, brother. But yeah, Dread's great. Now we're talking about some 90s badassity action up in here, son. I mean, explosions, motorcycles flying out of windows into helicopters, blowing up helicopters, fist fights, bar brawls, gasoline stations blowing up. I mean, everything is in this movie. Opening grocery store, liquor store fight. Everything is in this movie. This is absolutely phenomenal, please, everybody watching right now, please tell me that you guys have seen Stone Cold, son. Look at that poster. Love it. This is just pure adrenaline. Stone Cold is so good. Starring the Boz. And I believe this was his film debut, correct?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I think it was his first film.
Yeah.
And man, I mean, this movie literally has everything you would ever want in an action movie. Motorcycle chases, stunts, him jumping on top of the car, hanging on, comedic moments.
Yeah.
I mean, and a plethora of an amazing cast. Villains, man. Lance Henriksen, William Forsythe. I mean, there's so many positive things to say about Stone Cold, but we'll start with you, Brian.
The bravado of it is this is what I loved that I find is a bit missing now. You get a bit of it with Reacher, not so much with The Rock anymore, but that I am such a big masculine man that you better not mess with me. That Dolph Lundgren-esque kind of depiction of a character where, hey, you guys are bad guys, but I'm badder, but I'm going to do the good thing. And Brian Bosworth, who, like him or not like him, he played for Seattle, where I grew up in Seattle. He played for Seattle only a couple of years or something because he got hurt, but he just had that attitude. And I loved watching him on film. I loved the movie. It's 80s cheese or 90s cheese at its best, but he's a big dude. He was a good looking guy. He played a very good lead character. The movie was super interesting. The bad guys were the bike gang trying to get involved and help corrupt the local politics. And he comes in and kind of writes the day in the end. And as a one-man army, I absolutely loved the film. Whether you like the man or not, it's kind of up to you. And he didn't really go on to much anything else besides this. But that movie, it's another one of those films when it's on, God, I gotta finish watching this movie. I love watching that film. It's entertaining. Super entertaining and a little wild, picking guys up and throwing them, but hey, it's a movie, isn't it? It's suspension of animation. It's suspension of belief. I'm trying to say.
Yeah. Well,
it was fun. Real fun.
Jumping out of the helicopter going through the ceiling, coming all the way down, and he's fine. It's so good. But yeah, go ahead.
Yeah. I mean, this is I'm a sucker for a movie that opens up with bad guys holding a grocery store hostage.
Right?
Cobra, Blue Sea. Who robs a grocery store? Was that like a thing in the 80s?
Maybe bring that trope back.
I get it, but so it's like, I'm going to rob a whole grocery store.
Yeah.
And then they have to sneak around this cat and mouse through all the different aisles. I love seeing all the old Doritos and stuff. And so that's always fun. I think the collateral damage, just the damage they do to the stores, probably cost more than actually what they would have gotten away with from the register. And then, of course, we get to see their home life where they're just very eccentric. What is he? He has a pet Komodo dragon.
Lizard.
Yeah, just making weird food. Just Stallone comes home and he's cutting pizza with scissors. Okay, yeah, whatever. That's fine.
But yeah, it's so good. But yeah, plot synopsis. He's going undercover basically, and there's infiltrate the biker gang.
Didn't do well. I think a $25 million budget. I think it pulled in $9 million.
Yeah, they had a different director was involved, Bruce Malmuth, who had done Nighthawks. He was the original director, but I guess he had some issues and he got fired from the film. So they brought in Craig R. Baxley, and he kind of just threw the script out and added more explosions. Apparently, there was a whole plot with Stone Cold there has a wife and kids, and none of that's in there. And they cost there was $4 million in reshoots. Michael Douglas produced the movie, then took his name off of it.
Wow.
Yeah, it's
wow.
I'm sure that's a big selling point from the producer of One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest, Stone Cold.
But yeah, just absolutely phenomenal, badass. The beautiful bloody squibs. We have a new saying over here, me and my wife. We love squibs and jibs. Changing the channel name. It's now Squibs and Jibs. That's the channel name now. But yeah, just action packed and just rock music. Yeah. I love the, minor spoiler, but I love the ending where he's, after all the carnage, he's literally just slow-mo walking out of the building, and the camera follows him. It follows him the entire time, down the steps, through the parking lot, and while,
Through the parking-
there's
so like a
chaos
2-minute
around him,
Yeah.
like the ambulance, the cops running around, and he's just walking like, yeah, I'm done.
Yeah,
I'm
that
going
movie
home,
was,
man.
was
So
dated
good.
like a week after they shot it.
Yeah. And then the credits are going up. Oh, so good. So good. So good. You
Yeah,
know,
it's like 2 minutes
oh,
of him just walking out of the scene. And like
Yeah.
Brandon and I remember we watched this years ago. We're like, he didn't particularly, he's got his shirt off. He didn't particularly diet for this day of filming because he was kind of jiggling a little bit.
Yeah.
Like from my film, like I really dieted for the days that I had my shirt off so I'd look as good as possible. And Brian Bosworth, the movie's over, whatever.
Right.
I'm going to have a
Budget.
hamburger.
It's funny because I'm a big Mystery Science Theater fan. And
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
they've split off. Some of the Mystery Science Theater filmmakers and did the show. They now do something that's called riff tracks. Well, actually, riff tracks have been around for like 10 years now, I think. So it's basically Mystery Science Theater, but not called Mystery Science Theater, where they have fun making fun of B movies and just having a good time doing jokes and riffs.
Mm-hmm.
They did one for Stone Cold. I had to watch it. And it's hilarious. But even though they're cracking jokes and riffing throughout the whole movie, when it got to the one scene where the guy's like, "Hey, I'm gonna put the can on my head," and you shoot the can off my head when when all the bikers are hanging out having fun at the beach and stuff. And then William Forsythe pulls out, I think was it an Uzi instead of like a pistol? He pulls like an automatic gun or something like that and shoots the beer can, and then keeps shooting. And then it blows up the car right behind the guy, and you have the riff track guys. Basically, they stop joking and making fun of the movie, and they literally one of the guys goes, "This is the greatest movie ever made." Because it was so over the top. Stone Cold. Make sure you guys check it out if it came out in 4K.
Yeah.
I don't know if you could find this on YouTube or anything, but I had a VHS copy of Stone Cold, and there was a commercial in the beginning. It was like, I think, a phone contest where you could hang out in LA with the Boz.
Whoa!
Ooh.
Like, I want to know who won that and how did it go? Like,
yeah.
How fun!
Can I still win?
I don't think I've seen. I know he did other action movies, straight to video stuff afterwards.
Silent
I don't know.
Trigger.
Were any of those?
That was Dolph Lundgren.
Right.
Okay. So it did something. Boz did something like that, like sort of political action.
Right.
Thing,
He's
right?
did several.
The American flag.
Do you know? Have you seen any of his straight to video stuff afterwards? That was actually pretty decent.
No, it's like how you gonna reach those heights?
Well, but still, we love the movie.
All I needed to see. Yeah.
You guys check out Stone Cold. Now we go into the martial arts world right here. Man, Undisputed 3 Redemption, baby. Holy shit. I had a blast having the great Marcus Aurora on the show and talking about his character. And he's going down as one of my favorite martial art movie villains. I think if I ever did a list of martial arts movie villains, Marcus Aurora's character is going on there.
He's great. He's physically he's a large man. I think he's about an inch taller than me. I think he's 6'4".
Yeah.
Very good. He's Chilean kickboxer, and martial artist. And interestingly enough, those two guys, when they battled each other as good guy and bad guy, Scott Adkins and Marcus Aurora in Undisputed 3, great bad guy, great scenes between the two of them. And did you notice they were both in John Wick 4 together?
Yeah.
If you had to look closely, it's because Scott Adkins, who's got an 8-pack, had a large fat body and had the breather, like that. Wait a second, is that Scott Adkins with the gold with the teeth on? No way. And Marcos Aurora blocking arrows with his wrist, pulls it out, doesn't care, kicks John Wick all the way down the stairs in the end. Both guys had great roles in that movie. They got to come back together. I wonder if it's because they made friends, or I don't know, but they worked well together.
Well, Marco said, you notice there's no character poster for Marco. Everyone's got a character poster. Henry Sonata, Scott Adkins, everyone's got like a character poster for John Wick 4, but he doesn't because his role was supposed to be that big, but the director enjoyed him on the set that they were like, hey, we got to keep like fake killing off your character and having you coming back so we can have you in more scenes because he was so great. Yeah, shout out to Marco. But yeah, this this was interesting. The first Undisputed movie with Wesley Snipes and Ving Rhames, it's entertaining. It's entertaining, but it's Undisputed 2.
Okay.
Right. Undisputed 2 was the one where I was like, whoa, that was my introduction to Scott
Uh-huh.
as Yuri Boydka. And, I enjoy Michael Jai White. And that was a great movie, great fight in that. And the third one, I mean, it's very rare where you have the villain in the first movie, or at least the antagonist in the first movie, who had he was the antagonist that had honor. It's like, what? You tried to poison Michael Jai White while I was fighting him? Neck crack, you're dead. Right? So he was the antagonist, but he had ethics and morals. But it's very rare you see a movie, especially a martial arts series, where the antagonist is the protagonist in the second film, and that's why it's called Redemption. But the fight sequences are so good.
Unmatched. They pulled a Terminator. They took a popular bad guy, like, okay, now you're going to be the good guy now in number 3. And it works. He's rough and mean and gruff in the delivery of his lines, but then he gets in the ring and he does things physically that 2 or 3 people in the world can do, maybe professional acrobats or something, and he's in absolutely remarkable shape. Marco Zaror comes in and plays an awesome role. It's so much fun just to watch, even if they didn't say anything.
Yeah.
Wow, it's just an amazing film.
Yeah, it's so good. Isaac Florentine, definitely one of the best action directors out there. And I interviewed him too way back in the day. But I'm going to bring up a comment here from Lee from Film Combat. And I don't know if you got Brandon, you probably knew this, but I don't know if you knew this, Brian. But unfortunately, Undisputed 3 is underrated only in the sense that nearly everyone who loved the movie stole it and endangered the franchise to the point where Boyka 4 almost didn't happen. So this was leaked and everyone just illegally downloaded it.
Okay. So it took away from their success.
Yeah. And unfortunately that's gotta hurt,
Yeah.
And it's just kind of like, I mean, I think even the Blu-ray, I might be wrong on this, but even the Blu-ray that I own is like expensive now. So, I mean, that's 2 reasons right there where this belongs on the underrated martial arts movie list. But more people need to talk about it. More of the casuals, more of the people that are not necessarily fans of the genre. I mean, I think they should watch it. I think there's something to get out of the film and enjoy it. Brandon, thoughts on the movie?
Oh, it's one of those films. It does exactly what it sets out to do, which is just to have good fight scenes. That's it. It's so uncomplicated entertainment. It was really giving me those USA Up All Night vibes.
Very simplistic, but he's to the point.
It's meat and potatoes. It's definitely undemanding entertainment, which I love. I like turning my brain off and just enjoying it. So I'm saying, don't think about it too much. Like, what are they doing? Like they break rocks and move them around.
Yeah.
Is that where Wrecker got his job from? Just breaking rocks all day. It's like a landscaping company.
It's the Rambo 2 prison treatment. Just break rocks.
Yeah.
Breaking rocks.
Break rocks. But yeah, Undisputed 3, check it out. 4 is really entertaining as well. But I think if we were to rank all the Undisputed movies, I think 3 might get the nod. I would have to rewatch 2 and 4 again.
I'd go 3, 2, 4, 1. From best to worst.
Right. Yeah, that might come up. Maybe that's a future video we can do. Yeah. Right? Undisputed films ranked. But yeah, 3's even the Capoeira fighter he fought was great. So such good stuff. All right, we're going from martial arts to gun kata. That's right, equilibrium. Gun. People say John Wick is gun fu. Actually, gun fu, the term actually came out in the 80s. Shout out to Rick Myers. But they call John Wick 4's style gunjutsu or something like that. Gunjitsu or something like that.
Gunjitsu.
But gun kata was the first time I ever heard that term. And man, this was another one of those movies that came and went. I saw one TV spot, and I didn't know who Christian Bale was at the time. And he came out, posed with the guns like this in his white suit. That was it. I was like, what the hell was that? I didn't even know what that was.
I remember when the TV spots came out, it was 2 weeks after it was already like years. It came and went because I saw it opening day again to an empty theater.
Yeah. Oh, I didn't know. That's crazy.
Yeah, because they think they did some like pre-sales and our pre-sales internationally are so good we don't need to really market this thing to save money.
Right.
And so they didn't push it at all.
Wow.
Had American Psycho come out before this? I think it did, didn't it?
Yes.
Okay.
It did. So he already had the star power enough to be his leading role. And then in this one came out, it definitely had that Ray Bradbury Fahrenheit 451 vibe to it. But they added this whole thing I'd never seen before of the 6 guys around him. He jumps in between and he goes with the guns. I'd never seen that before, and really didn't see it successfully done again until John Wick 1, you know?
Yeah.
So,
But like even when this, I remember when this came out on VHS and DVD and stuff, it had big words on the cover: "Forget the Matrix, forget the Matrix." So many of my friends saw the movie and they're like, "Man, this movie's garbage." They're bragging like it's better than the Matrix. Even I had to roll my eyes. I was like, "Oh God, what do I have to watch this garbage?" And so I finally rented it and sat down and watched it with a couple of my other buddies. And we were like, what is this? Hold on a second. Hold on a second. What is this gun kata? Like, what this type of style I've never seen before. It was fucking
created
phenomenal.
a new action language. And it's always exciting to see a new action language.
Yeah.
Often. And then this one, everyone missed it. Did you forget the Matrix?
No. But I hate when they do that, you know, like a martial arts movie comes out. It's like, it kind of does the film a disservice because, you know, I've seen some really good martial arts action movies out there that they're good on their own right. But on the tagline and the damn poster, they go better than the Raid. And I'm like, you're
don't bring that into the mix.
You're stepping on your own foot. Yeah.
Yes. Because people are going to think that going into this here. Oh, hold on a second. We got Champ saying hello, Brian and Brandon. There we go. We got people watching.
Hello, Champ Blaze.
Lee says underrated movie Nemesis. Without it, we wouldn't have Equilibrium. Yes.
Okay, that was on the list, and we took it off.
I said Newsies, not Nemesis.
Which one?
Oh, I thought you said Nemesis.
Newsies, Nemesis.
Lee's cracking jokes. I thought he said Nemesis. He said Newsies. That's right. If it wasn't for Newsies. He's cracking jokes.
Well, Nemesis was on the list.
That's kind of fun. That's kind of perfect. Nemesis could go on. Hey, future part two.
And you just had Olivier Gruner as a guest here last week as well.
What a huge honor to have Olivia on here. But it's all about Newsies. Anyway, where's the Newsies remake? No, I'm just kidding. Back to action here. Oh my God. I need new glasses. But yeah, Gun Con is legit great. And unfortunately, the director, he just going back to what you said, Brian, it just never has been done this way since. And I think the director tried to bring it back a little bit in Ultraviolet. Is it Ultraviolet?
Yeah, okay. Good point. Yeah.
And it just didn't work in that movie. But a lot of things in that movie didn't work, unfortunately.
That could have been, I think you could have taken what was filmed and edited that a little bit better and made it a better film. It didn't quite work for me. I've probably seen that 3 times, and every time it's like, do I watch the rest of it or not? You know,
right.
Interesting premise, but you're right. That's another film that tried it and kind of failed.
Yeah, I'm still laughing at some Lee's comments here. He's like, "Thank you, Brandon, for." I thought he said Nemesis. Anyway, it's all fun here. We have fun here, but yeah, Equilibrium is great. You know, we have a great little duel at the end, and just good stuff, man. Really good stuff. In terms of sci-fi action movies.
If you're going to bring up the duel in the end, ended quicker than I wanted it to be. The sword fight with Taye Diggs.
Yeah, that could have been longer. I think the gun kata fight was longer. It felt with him and the actor from Braveheart. I forgot his name.
Angus McFadden.
Angus McFadden.
Yeah. And then even though it's it's considered like a science fiction film, it's supposed to feel futuristic. It's very similar to Brazil in that there's really no futuristic technology. Like everything they have in that reality is here. There's nothing. There's nothing that, that is science fiction-y.
Yeah. Brazil's another great movie. But can't have emotion in the future. Can't have emotion.
Sense offenders, damn emotions.
Can't do that. And
they ought to be outlawed.
It's all about rebellion. Rebellious freedom, fighting for the freedom.
And I love how the bad guys all have black leather, and black helmets, so you can use the same actors over and over again. You can kill them off 30 times if you want, because you can't see who they are.
Exactly.
Very budget conscious film.
Yeah. It works. The Black Ninja attack. You keep using the same actors and the ninja.
Like how Jackie Chan was killed. I think Jackie Chan died 6 times in Enter the Dragon. Because there's so many bad guys. You just like, we need somebody over there to fall over and get shot. Like, okay.
I think they only had 6 alien costumes in Aliens.
Right. Yeah. They're very, very. But
what? Really?
Yeah. There's only a few suits. Yeah.
Oh, learn something new every podcast.
Yeah. But this is actually kind of like destiny. This is destiny that you guys chose this pick, because I literally couple of days ago watched this movie for the first time, not knowing that this was one of their picks on the list. See, the action gods have brought us together. This was
I'm excited. What is it?
This was destiny. And I was like, this has been recommended to me several times. Finally gotten around to watching it. And it's a hard movie to find, a hard movie to buy. And luckily, somebody uploaded the whole movie for free on YouTube. So me and my wife were like, we got to watch it. This movie completely surprised us. We had no idea how much fun and how much of an amazing badass concept this movie was. We're talking about the TV movie. That's right. It didn't even go to theater. It was a TV movie exclusive to HBO. We are talking about Full Eclipse, baby.
Yeah.
1993, starring Mario Van Peebles and the great Bruce Payne. This needs a goddamn Blu-ray set. This needs, come on, Vinegar Syndrome, Kino Lorber, Arrow Video. Like, this needs Shout Factory, please. Somebody.
It's good. It's a good film. Opening scene in the I don't know why bad guys would want to take over a nightclub, but they did. You know, like it's a good scene.
The 90s, the 80s, they were taking over supermarkets, nightclubs, whatever they get their hands on. You know?
Yeah.
And they were insane too, so that helps the motivation. Mm-hmm. But like, just so good. You know, Mario Van Peebles and his partner, who's trying to get close to retirement. You know, so that's always a good sign, right?
Oh, he's so close to retirement.
This guy jobs so fast. He gets shot in an air vent. I was like, really, dude? Like, he didn't even make it to the shootout. He's just crawling through the air vent. He gets shot
by an Uzi. Wow.
Yeah. Right. But you get, because it's the 90s, so you get some double gun, dual wielding, Mario Van Peebles jumping through the air, shooting. Yeah. It's the 90s. We got to have that John Woo action. But we're big horror fans over here too, so we were like, oh shit, this the werewolf aspect. His partner gets turned into a werewolf, and dude, like the stunts, that whole opening action sequence with his partner chasing after the bad guys, who's got werewolf powers. Dude, that was insane, bro. That whole car chase was nuts. Him jumping on the back of the bike, or the bike chase, and the guy's just pumping the slugs in him, right? And he's still like holding on to the guy, and then he floors him, drives him face first right into a wall explosion. He walks out of the fire like nothing. Like, hey, what's going on? What's going on, Mario Van Peebles?
Yeah.
I was like, dude, this is great. And then, not to spoil too much, but you find out later that his superior officer, Bruce Payne, who's amazing. Bruce
Payne's here. We know we're in trouble.
Yeah.
And tell me, if you gave this movie a bigger budget now, this would work perfectly now. Mm-hmm. The concept is the reason why there's no crime. Everywhere Bruce Payne's unit went, there was no crime. There was a huge crime decline.
Yeah.
And the reason why who was a werewolf, used it was his blood, Brandon? What did he use? I forgot.
Yeah, it's like his brain serum.
His brain fluid.
And then these werewolves also have Wolverine claws for some reason.
Yes. I mean, what's not to like? But he uses the brain fluid, and he kind of makes his team, he handpicks his team, and he kind of makes them druggies. They're like drug addicts. Like, they come back like, hey, we need more. Mm-hmm. And they basically go out and just destroy. I wanted more scenes with the team going out and fucking people up, but still, what we got was so good. They went out there and just completely destroy, like just murder. There's no freeze.
Mhm.
There's like, no, we're coming in and we're taking out your whole crew and we're walking out. Oh my God. It was so good. And then we have the finale fight at the end. Full eclipse. Holy shit. Brandon, talk about it.
Yeah, well, I think it was on everyone's mind because we just had a full eclipse. But the first time I saw this, I think I was staying at my grandparents' house, and that's always a big deal. Where like I get my own room and they have a TV, and so I'm probably like 11 or something, maybe 10, and I get to watch TV all night. So it was USA Up All Night. I think Full Eclipse was on.
Wow.
And and so just watch it, know nothing about it. Like it blew my little mind. And it was one of those things I forgot about it for a long time. Like, did I make it up? Like, I remember this amazing action movie where there was werewolf cops and this guy chasing cars on foot, flying through the air. And, it was one of those things that must have been a fever dream. And then I see the video Full Eclipse, like, oh, it's real. And, and then every now and again I revisit it because I always think, oh, it can't be as good as I remember it. I remember it being incredible when I was a kid, very impressionable. Like, no, actually, the stunts still hold up really well for a TV movie.
Oh yeah.
It's like, oh no, this is solid. This is still good.
Yeah, I could see Brian playing the Bruce Payne role. You playing that easy, dude. Easy. But
one thing that sticks out in this film for me is the sex scene between Mario Van Peebles and Patsy Kensit when she's trying to get him to try the drug. Oh, just take a little. So she takes a little lick of it. Come on. And he's like, no, don't want to do it. And she's like, well, let's have sex anyway. And so she's kind of werewolfing out, but he can't see. Then they flash forward because they don't show the rest of it, But then they're sitting there talking afterwards, and she goes, we could tear into each other like that every night. And they show his back while he's talking to her. He's got a huge bloody scrape on his back. Then they switch the camera to his front. He's got a huge bloody scrape. Like, really? Did you not notice that something happened?
It was that good. The sex was that good, man.
That hurts in real life, It's just ludicrous, over the top, but it's super fun. Love the bad guy. Like the good guys are cool. Like it's got great action scenes. It's another one of those that makes a list because it's so much damn fun to watch.
And the fact that it's so hard to find, like you might be able to buy it on DVD, maybe.
I have a DVD of it. Yeah.
You got it?
Yeah.
Okay.
I have it on DVD. Yeah. I had a VHS and a DVD. Yeah.
You can find it on YouTube.
He's rubbing it in.
Yeah.
He's got the VHS too.
That was a man who really wanted back when you could find it.
If I'm out and about and I'm at like some VHS store or like an old collector store and they have it on VHS for $1, I'd buy it just to put it on the shelf. But yeah, Full Eclipse is amazing. I mean, I think one of my favorite parts in the movie is when the mob rigs their vehicle to blow up. And then they walk out of the fire like, all right, who do we got to fuck up now?
Yeah.
Okay, you set the bomb. All right, we're coming after you. They kill those guys off screen, and then they go to the mobster's mansion and drop the dead bodies from a helicopter in front of them, and then fly off. It's so good. But yeah, please, somebody take this concept, add some budget to it, and redo this. But yeah, you guys. You can watch it for free on YouTube. Please watch it. Spread the word. Full Eclipse is phenomenal. There was one more thing. Brian, you have the hilarious ultra alpha male werewolf transformation at the end, which made me smile and chuckle because it was goofy looking, but it was still fun with Payne. The fight with Mario Van Peebles on the crate, when the crate got taken up in the air, was that stuntman still in the werewolf costume on the crate, hundreds of feet in the air, holding onto the chain while they were doing that fight? Was that guy still in the suit? It kind of looked like the stuntman was still in the werewolf suit that was like high up in the air. And I'm like, dude, that's actually impressive if he's still in the suit.
We'd have to go find
the
clip and look at it. I don't know.
Because he's fighting Mario on the crate, and then Mario does a switch, and then the crate gets pulled up with both of them on it.
Yeah.
And they're like hundreds of feet in the air, and there's a couple of shots where it's far away, but it looks like it's a stuntman in the werewolf costume, still trying to do a fight scene,
probably
on the crate in the air, which is insane. But yeah,
well, that whole movie's insane, so I wouldn't doubt it. Yeah,
right. Here we go. We got some more recommendations. In Hell, JCVD and Replicant.
Replicant with JCVD was not bad. I like that movie.
I
Underrated.
need to rewatch Replicant, but In Hell was good. In Hell was pretty good.
Yeah.
But now we're going to keep it wolf-like. We're going to keep the wolf genre going here.
Been waiting to get
Brotherhood of the Wolf. Man.
Amazing film.
Absolutely amazing. And before I segue to you guys about it, again, brief TV spot, and I saw a guy land, pull out double daggers, and that was it. And I was like, what the hell was that? Right? And then, see, you younglings today, you guys are spoiled. You get trailers, you get 8,000 trailer reactions, trailers before trailers now for movies. Back then, it was like, I think I saw a T-Rex run by Jurassic Park. What the hell is that? What is that? You want to see the Jurassic Park movie? Sure. Right? But I was like, what the hell was that? And then a buddy of mine is like, hey, let's go to the movies Friday. I was like, yeah, let's go. What's out? He goes, let's go see Le Pack de Loops. And I said, what the fuck is Le Pack de Loops? I said, what the fuck is that? He goes, I don't know, man. I just saw that Mark Dacascos was in it. I was like, okay, I don't know what the hell Le Pack de Lupus is, but I like Mark Dacascos. I'm a big, huge fan. Let's go. And then we sat down. We were like, oh, it's a foreign film. All right, subtitles French. All right, cool. Had no idea what we were about to experience. Absolutely no idea. We walked out of that theater, jaws dropped. We were like, dude, that was one of the most fucking amazing, badass, pleasantly surprising. Because again, we didn't know we were watching. And it's got the horror elements, the fantasy elements, the drama, the martial arts, the action. I mean, it is a masterpiece. I think it's a masterpiece. But go ahead, Brian.
You could say that it's a masterpiece. Yeah, a combination of the horror, and it's also a sleuth. You know, it's a whodunit. Is it supernatural? Is it a lion? What is it? A tiger? Is it a bear? What's going on? There's a monster, and then you find out who the real monster is the bad guy, Vincent Cassel, who does a great job of fooling me for the whole movie. I had no idea that he whips out that arm and that crazy sword. I'm like, wait a sec, what? And then there's a swoop of the martial artist, Mark Dacascos. For younger people that are watching, he was the main bad guy with the bald head in John Wick 3. I first saw him in Army of One, and he did a capoeira movie that was really good, and I was a fan after that. So to see him in this, he was amazing in this as a Native American. Hardly spoke much, but his actions did everything. Wow, the scenes were beautiful with the rain. There you go. Beautiful. And how they're dressed up. Like, I didn't think guys that dressed up like that could do things like that. And so then once Vincent Cassel once Mark Dacascos is kind of defeated, then the main good guy, who hasn't done any action, takes over, and he's even better. And it kind of like, wait a sec, what? It swapped out characters. It defeated my expectations and swerved them out. And like, the one thing is you're reading subtitles, which kind of, when you're looking down, you're reading, you kind of miss what's happening, but it's so good that it's okay because you're going to want to watch it again.
Right. No, well said. I mean, and with the subtitles, there's usually no subtitles during the action, so we're kind of good with that. Yeah. But no, well said. I mean, it's so good. I mean, everybody was great. Like
Monica Bellucci's in it. Yeah, it's got some.
She was a 10, but she was great with the badass fan with the blades on it. I mean, everyone was so good in this movie. Vincent Cassel was good. I mean, when he pulled out the bone sword at the end, it was almost like a chain sword, a whip sword.
What is
that
was
is creative.
Yeah, super very creative with what they did, and even the gunplay when he's out, Vincent Cassel is shooting pumpkins for target practice that for some reason are filled with blood. He shoots one, boom, shoots another one, and he's really good at that. But then in the final fight, there are no guns. Who cares? It's just visually stunning film, beautiful use of slow motion as well. And the cinematography, like, it's all over. It's, for me, it's a 10, 10, 10, 10. I was hoping you were going to save that one till the end, because that's what a visually stunning, jaw-dropping, movie-going cinematic experience it is to watch that. I wish I would have seen it in the theaters. I didn't.
Yeah. And Brandon, tell us about your experience with the film.
I saw that. So I had read about it online. Like, it sounds really interesting, because there's not a lot of, I thought it was going to be a werewolf movie. There's like not a lot of good werewolf movies out there. I wish there were more. better ones. So I thought it was gonna be like a werewolf movie or something going in.
Yeah.
And I saw, oh, it's playing in the city, so I had to take the bus all the way to downtown to go see it. I think it was a fairly empty theater. It's kind of that's always how I know something's underrated because nobody was here.
There you go. Yeah.
And so me and my friend saw it, and like, oh man, it was just the best thing ever. And the crazy thing is, it probably didn't need to be an action movie. It had enough like mystery and sumptuous period drama. It could have just been like that. But they're like, what if we do something that's kind of like Bram Stoker's Dracula, but with martial arts?
Yeah.
And so it's just like the action was just like a bonus, and it was really good action. When Samuel L. Behan avenges his friend and just fucking everybody up, the sound design was just amazing. It was
so good.
It was a hoot and a half. I love the hell out of that movie.
And they even threw in emotions for the monster. Like, don't you feel bad for the once you learn? Like, wait a second, now you realize what it is. And then you have an emotional tie, and like, wait, no. It made my stomach sink the way it ended. Yeah. But that's what a good storytelling is. It invigorates all of your senses. It makes you laugh, it makes you cry, it makes you feel bad, and it makes you feel excited. I'd say that's a damn good movie if you went through all of your full range of emotions, and you'll get that out of this movie.
Yeah, I would love to see more stuff from Christoph Gahn. Like, 'cause I thought Silent Hill was fantastic. I haven't seen his piece, but Crying Freeman. There's another underrated hidden gem.
The animated.
There's a live action one with Mark Dacascos.
That's good.
Oh, actually, I didn't even know that. Yeah, I saw the animated years ago.
It's like a video.
I sense a part 2.
Yeah,
part 2 because that's another hard to find movie.
Yeah.
I remember hearing about Crying Freeman for years, and then I was just like, well, I can't find it anywhere. Where is it? And I had to go overseas or order it overseas to get lucky. But yeah, we'll talk about that in the future. We can't do it without Brian seeing it first. But yeah,
let me catch up to your level. Yeah.
Yeah, but I had to save the best for last. But all of these are amazing picks. These guys know what they're talking about. They know what they're talking about. But before we get close to wrapping it up, if you guys have, if you guys feel like it, we can still chat and talk movies. This is what we love doing. I got 2 bonuses to the list. We got 2 Samurai Guy bonuses here. This, I was like, where has this movie been my whole life? Where has this been? Because I've always like heard about it off and on, and then I would forget it exists. And then I was like, oh yeah, that movie. Eventually I'll watch it. And because I love the director. And I was just like, man, I'm never going to get around to watching this. And then I forget about it again. And then a couple of years go by. And then finally, it came out on Blu-ray. And I'm like, you know what? I've been dodging this movie for so long. I'm going to buy it. I'm going to watch it. Finally, I bought it on Blu-ray, watched it, and I was like, that was fucking kick-ass. And Samurai Guy is talking about Extreme Prejudice.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
Yo, motherfucking Walter Hill. This movie is so good, man. Like,
that's got Clancy Brown, right? There's an 86.
The cast in this movie is insane. We have
Nick Nolte, Powers
Booth, Michael Ironside.
Okay.
Maria
I remember
Conchita
that.
Alonso, Clancy Brown, Rip Torn, William Forsythe. And surprisingly, you got Tom Lister Jr. in here. But surprisingly, you got Larry B. Scott in this movie from Revenge of the Nerds. He's in this movie playing an action role, which is different for him. But yeah, the cast alone blew me away. And for those of you who have never seen the movie, basic plot synopsis is you have a Texas Ranger and a ruthless narcotics kingpin. They were childhood friends. Now they are adversaries. But this movie is, dude, Walter Hill's movies, the gunplay, the action sound design in his films, and the way he does his blood squibs is so good. And Walter Hill's movies. Listen to the sound design for the gunplay. It is so good. But for those of you watching, that is not Bill Paxton on the left side of Clancy Brown there. he looks like Bill Paxton, but it is not Bill Paxton. But yeah, this is just full of badassity. Definitely feels like a modern day Western. You even have a duel at the end. But the action in Shootout is carnage. and you have Michael Ironside having a gunfight with Clancy Brown. Where has this movie been my whole life? And I, finally when I got around to watching it, I didn't watch no bad bootleg copy. I actually watched it digitally remastered, and it is so good, so good. So yeah, if you guys have not seen Extreme Prejudice, please watch it. The end finale shootout's insane.
Do you remember the trailers for that?
A little bit. I was trying to put a trailer intro for this, but I didn't have time.
So the trailers
they're interesting. Yeah.
The trailer I saw that I remember is it wasn't on TV. It was before a movie, before Bloodsport or something like that. Then it just showed each of the members of the team there with their weapons. So Clancy Brown had like a rifle and he shoots it, and then the other guy has an Uzi and then he turns this way. And then Nick Nolte was the last character. Then it just said Extreme Prejudice, and I turned to my dad and I said, "We're seeing that."
It's really surprised me, and nobody talks about this movie. What's funny is that now people are talking about this movie. I've actually seen other YouTubers and stuff. They're like, "Hey, the best movie you've never saw, Extreme Prejudice." I'm like, "Holy shit." So finally, at least, this is kind of perfect timing. We're talking about it now. Finally, other people are talking about it. But still, for a Walter Hill movie, when people mention Walter Hill movies, nobody mentions Extreme Prejudice. And it's sad.
Maybe they will now. Yeah.
Hopefully they will now.
Yeah. There's nothing wrong with it. It's a good movie.
It's great. Oh, yeah. It's kick-ass. So Extreme Prejudice, that blew me away. And speaking of action finale shootouts that blew me away, boom, The Way of the Gun. Holy shit.
Yeah, with Ryan Felipe. Yeah.
Holy shit. I had Scott Phillips on my channel. He's real life Navy SEAL, ended up getting in the movie industry, and he ended up becoming the action tactician director, tactical advisor for William Kaufman, a lot of his movies. And he does great action movies as well. He loves this movie. He loves The Way of the Gun. And
was it James Caan in that?
Yeah, James Caan was in that.
Yeah.
And this movie, it barely made the list on the action because there's really not a lot of it. There's a great action opener, a little bit of shooting here and there in the middle, but mostly the finale is why it's here on the list. Because this finale is like one of the best examples of style mixed with realism. And this is another movie where I saw the TV spot. I saw both of them walking around, pulling out a gun, and that was The Way of the Gun coming out Friday. I was like, what the hell was this? What was that? I guess I'm not seeing that movie. I need to see more. But yeah, plot synopsis for Way of the Gun, for those of you that have not seen it. You have two criminal drifters without sympathy get more than they bargained for after kidnapping and holding for ransom the surrogate mother carrying a baby for a powerful, shady man. And speaking of Taye Diggs, he's in this one. Juliette Lewis, Nikki Katt, Jeffrey Lewis, Scott Wilson, and of course the great James Caan. Yeah, this blew me away, and I realized why Scott Phillips was such a big fan of this film. Besides other people that I've talked to have been trying to recommend this movie for me for years, is because it is like tactical realism. Watch how every bullet is accounted for in this movie. Mm-hmm. Watch how they actually reload. Watch how they cover each other. There's a great scene in the beginning where they put Juliette Lewis in their truck and they're trying to get away, and the bad guys are following them down an alleyway. They turn the corner and follow them in their vehicle. And then when they turn the corner, you just see the vehicle still going and the doors opening. The doors open on both sides and the car's rolling on its own. Ryan Phillippe and Benicio del Toro got out and they're hiding on the side waiting for them to show up.
Yeah.
It's so good. There's so many little things like that throughout this movie.
And there's always a gun. Always a gun. So Ryan Felipe's got his gun and the other guy moves back and then he raises his gun to Ryan Felipe. It was very tactically correct. Yeah. And obviously this is another homage to Westerns like Extreme Prejudice. Even the end finale shootout took place where Butch Cassidy and Sundance's Kid finale shootout. Same location. Oh, that's why it's so familiar. I remember. Yeah, this seems familiar.
And it definitely had a Sam Peckinpah vibe for sure, especially very similar to the Wild Bunch, where you have these outlaws who don't really have to play the good guy at the end. They don't have to. They could just leave, but they decide to do the right thing at the end. And again, the action gunplay at the end of this is so good. And the directing of showing you the layout, having the first person view of showing you the windows of where villains will be coming out soon. And like a good example of, shout out to my buddy, filmmaker Sam Kench from Brickwall Pictures. He made a great video essay on this film. Again, a great example of realism meeting style in this action set piece, because you have, again, they reload when they need to. Every bullet's accounted for. The way the things are shot, it's like perfect. But then you have the style. You have Ryan Phillippe run, jump over, like the style of it, jump to avoid gunfire. But when he lands, here's the realism. He lands on a whole bunch of broken bottles and his arm is shredded. And this movie did such a great job with mixing style and realism. And I was like, dude, this is one of the best in shootouts I've ever seen in a movie. And nobody's talking about it. The Blu-ray that I have looks like shit. The Blu-ray that I have is old and it looks like garbage. Nobody talks about this movie, and I wouldn't be. I think this bombed too.
Yeah, I remember when it came out. I don't think it got favorable reviews.
Right.
And I worked at the video store when it came out on video. Like I think my boss ordered maybe 3 copies. Yeah, so it wasn't going to be a big renter. He assumed. No. Usually we get 20 or 100 of something if it was a big hit. That one, we got next to no copies. And I saw it for the first time a few years ago because it's been kind of on my radar. Like I've been hearing oh, it's actually really good, really good. Yeah. Like, people are talking about it in the underground there, and I watched it. And
you hated it.
This is great. It's like, this is a perfectly fine film. Like what was up with critics back then?
I don't know. Maybe they didn't know what kind of movie it was. Look at how it was marketed. I didn't even know what the hell was that. Yeah. It just came out pointing guns, away the gun. That's the end of the commercial. Yeah. Like, okay. Are we going to show some of it? But yeah, it's extremely underrated in terms of this was the year 2000, and you had really great tactical gunplay. Way before John Wick brought style to the tactical gunplay and its action fight choreography. I mean, this is a long time ago. But yeah, if you guys are interested, make sure you check it out. But yeah, I believe it's underrated. There's some dark comedy moments in this. Juliette Lewis screams a lot. But other than that, I thought it was a
brutal torture scene. I remember with two come-alongs. That what a come-along is that you get 3 inches, another 3 inches, one attached to a guy's feet, one attached to his arms between two cactuses or something. Barbed wire, And then they said, okay, what we're going to do next is pluck your eyes out and pour gasoline in them if you don't tell us what we want. Just the visual, like, who thinks of that? Like, what? Right? Felipe is saying this, like, what? But it makes if you want your characters, if you're writing your characters, and you want the audience to really maybe these guys are super scary, then you give them things like that to say. So it had some brutally honest moments, but it also made you laugh a little bit too.
Yeah,
and you really liked James Caan, and I think James Caan had a limp from years of doing what he does for a living, but I really liked his character in that.
Yeah, he was a badass for sure.
Yeah, that's a good choice.
Badass.
Yeah. Some of the hate might have come from that it wasn't a Tarantino film. I think
could be.
People like when it's like, oh, look, this violent, well-scripted movie. Who do you think you are, Tarantino? Thumbs down. Same thing happened to Things to Do in Denver When You're Dead. Like, how dare you have a sharp, witty script and violence? Tarantino's allowed to do that.
No, you may have nailed it. That could have been part of it too.
Yeah.
Again, the marketing too. The marketing wasn't great. Look at it. I didn't get me to the theater, But yeah, those of you that study action design and action movies and shootouts, just skip to the end finale shootout when they show up to the apartment. And you can definitely study it and break it down. There's a lot of good stuff there. But there's your 2 little bonuses. There we go. It's kind of funny. This wasn't planned, but they're both like modern day Westerns.
Yeah.
I didn't plan that. But there's two little bonuses. But yeah, phenomenal picks here. Did you guys want to wrap it up for today, or did you want to still talk movies and hang out for a little bit?
Well, how do you feel about it? I think what we should do is do it again. There's so many. We plinked off the list that now that I see what your Preston, what kind of films are that you like, you're going to know. And it's probably, if you came up with 10 more, it's going to be the same 10 as what I feel.
Yeah, for sure. And we'll still do our separate, is it underrated episodes where we can just talk about the one movie for like an hour. Those are still fun to do because a lot of these deserve deep dives. But yeah, I mean, we talked about a little bit over an hour and a half here. I think it's the perfect time to go ahead and wrap it up. You guys know what you need to do, baby. You need to go to YouTube, go to Tubi, go to Amazon Prime, check out Wrecker, enjoy it. It's a label of love. Listen, bring it up. Yeah, son. That's right. That's how we do it, baby. Yeah. Will that make a cameo, just the hammer, in the next movie, in the block, Brandon? Did you have the hammer in the shot just for fun?
No. I don't
You're not gonna have his character just pick it up and be like scratch his back.
It might be a shared universe. No.
Oh, okay. Right. Oh my goodness. But yeah, Brandon, before we wrap it up, man, anything you'd like to say to everybody watching?
What would I like to say? I'm on the spot now. It's like, hey, hope you're all doing well. Taking
I'll do it for you. Make sure to keep an eye out for the block.
Yes.
Upcoming. Bryan reuniting. That's right. Bryan, we'll let you. I'm sure you have stuff to say. Anything to say?
I do. I'd like to say, lights out, motherfucker.
Yeah. Tagline. Where's the t-shirts? We need some record t-shirts, baby. Yeah. Hope you guys that have watched us and hung out with us, thank you so much. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to the Old Samurai Guy. Join me tomorrow. We're going to be talking horror. I'm going to be hanging out with Joe Castro. That's right. Special effects, makeups. I could speak of the English, Bryan. I could speak of the English. Makeup effects maestro Joe Castro. We're going to be hanging out, talking about some of his horror projects tomorrow. So join us tomorrow. And keep an eye out for the block. Watch Wrecker and stay tuned for the part 2, Electric Boogaloo.
Right on.
For underrated action movies. We'll do it again maybe next month or very soon. All right, guys, keep watching action movies, martial arts, representing that horror genre, baby. And we'll see you guys on the next one. Take care.
Thank you very much for having us on.
Oh, yeah.